Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudire
Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavatyuttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki.
तो एक काफ़ी फिर उनका नहीं 9623
5:18:20. So we're reading from Canto 5, Chapter 18. The prayers offered to the Lord by residents of Jambudvipa. Text 23. इसमें लगे ठीक है आगे स्वत्सत्वं ममप्यच्युतशीर्ष्णिवन्दितम् कराम्भुजं यत् त्वदधायि सात्वताम् बिभर्षि मां लक्ष्मवरेण्यमायया क ईश्वरस्येहितमोहितं विभुरिति सत्वं ममप्यच्युतशीर्ष्णिवन्दितं कराम्भुजयत्वदधायि सात्वताम् विभर्षि मां लक्ष्मवरेण्यमायया क ईश्वरेस्येहितमोहितुं विभुरिति How can we chant the last line? Why that iti is coming separate? Ka ishvaresye hitam ohitum vibhuriti vibhuriti. ठीक है आप लोगों को समझा तो बताइए कैसे उसको चैंट सत्वं ममप्यच्युतशीर्ष्णिवन्दितम् कराम्बुजं यत्त्वद अधायि सात्वताम् बिभर्षि मां लक्ष्मवरेण्यमायया क ईश्वर्यस्येहितमोहितुं विभुरिति Okay, one more time I'll chant. Satvam mamapyachyutaशीर्ष्णिवन्दितम् Karambhujam yatvadadhai sattvatam Bibharshimam Lakshmavarenymayaya Ka Ishwarisye hitamohitam vibhuriti
Sattvam mamapyachyuta shishnivanditam
Mamapyachyuta Shirshnivanditam
Karambhujam yattat adhai sattvatam
Jam yatvadadhai sattvatam
Bibharshimam lakshma arinymayaya
Vivarshimam Lakshmavarenymayaya
Ka ishvara se hitamohitam vibhuriti
Kaishvaryesye hitamohitam vibhuriti
Sattvam mamapi achyuta shishnivanditam
Sat
Karambujam yatvat adhai sattvatam Vivarshimam lakshmavarenymayaya Ka ishvarasye hitam puritam vibhuriti
Sattvam mamapyachyuta shishnivanditam
Sattvam mamapi achyuta shishnivanditam
Karambhujam yatvadadhai sattvatam Vivarshimam lakshmavarenymayaya Ka ishwarasya hitamohitam vibhuriti
Sattvam mamapyachyuta shishnivanditam Karambhujam yatvad adhai sattvatam Vivarshimam lakshmavarenymayaya Ka ishvara ye hitam ohitum vibhur iti
Sattvam mapya achyuta shishnivanditam Karambhujam yatvad adhai sattvatam Vivarshimam lakshmavarenymayaya Ka ishvarasya hitam ohitam vibhuriti
Sattvam mamapi achyuta shishnivanditam Karambujam yatvat adhai sattvatam Vivarshimam lakshmavarenymayaya Ishvarasye hitam puritam vibhuriti
What word meaning? Saha, that. Tvam, you. Mama, of me. Api, also. Achyuta, O infallible one. Shirshni, on the head. Vanditam, worshipped. Kara ambujam, your lotus hand. Yet, which. Svat, by you. Adhai, placed. Sattvatam, by the head of the devotees. Vivarshi, to maintain. Mam, me. Lakshma, as an insignia on your chest. Varenya, O worshipable one. Maya, with deceit. Kaha, who. Ishvarasya, of the supremely powerful controller. Ihitam, to desires. O hitam, to understand by reason and argument. Vigoho, is able. Iti, thus. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O infallible one, A lotus palm is the source of all benediction. Therefore, your pure devotees worship it, and you very mercifully place your hand on their heads. I wish that you may also place your hand on my head, for although you already bear my insignia of golden streaks on your chest, I regard this honor as merely a kind of false prestige for me. You know your real mercy to your you show your real mercy to your devotees, not to me. Of course, you are the supreme absolute controller, and no one can understand your motives. Purport. In many places, the Shastras describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead as being more inclined toward his devotees than toward his wife, who always remains on his chest. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated, Na tatha me priyatama atmayonir na shankara na cha sankarshana na shri naivatma cha yata bhavan. Here Krishna plainly says that his devotees are more dear to him than Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Sankarshan, the original cause of creation, the goddess of fortune, or even his own self. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says, Nemam virincho na bhavo na shrirapya anga samshraya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. The Supreme Lord, who can award liberation to anyone, showed more mercy toward the gopis than to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or even Goddess of Fortune, who is his own wife and is associated with his body. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam also states, Nayam Shriyanga U Nitantarate Prasada Swaryo Shitam Nalina Gandharucham Kutonya Rasotsavesya Mujadanda Grihita Kantha Labdha Shishamya Odagad Vrajasundarinam. The gopis received mercy benedictions from the Lord that neither Lakshmi Devi nor the most beautiful dancers in the heavenly planets could attain. In the Rasa dance, the Lord showed his favor to the most fortunate gopis by placing his arms on their shoulders and dancing with each of them individually. No one can compare with the gopis who received the causeless mercy of the Lord. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that no one can receive the real favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without following in the footsteps of the gopis. Even the Goddess of Fortune could not receive the same favor as the gopis, although she underwent severe austerities and penances for many years. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discusses this point with Venkata Bhatta in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we'll discuss all this in detail. We'll go to the last paragraph. These are all translations of those verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The conclusion is that one cannot associate with Krishna unless he has fully received the favor of the inhabitants of Rajabhumi. Therefore, if one wants to be delivered by Krishna directly, he must take to the service of the residents of Vrindavan, who are unalloyed devotees of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamiyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Srivam Savadhutam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Raghunatham Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Charine Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vacharam bandhum langhayate girim yat kripatam vande Shri Gurum Dinapatnam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So this recitation of verses is very, very important. Therefore we are reciting it more number of times so that we get more purified in a short time. And also in the Guru Puja, there is no need to add any extra lines. Prabhupada Patita Pavana and Prabhupada Loyalo Sharam, etc. And it's Prabhupada Guru Puja, so there is no question of Gurudev in between or later. So we can, so these are not my words, Jayadvaita Maharaj, he is writing in his book. So this can be followed because one point which I was contemplating is when the Acharya is given some song, if we sing it as it is without adding or deleting any line, with time by his mercy will be able to imbibe his mood. So if we add our own concoction in between, it's not proper. Jayadvaita Maharaj also writes, Gurudev, Prabhupada Loyalo Sharan doesn't mean anything in Bengali also it seems. But with time, just imagine if we keep adding like this, maybe in future one line of Acharya and rest our lines will be there. Just think about it, 5,000 years down the line, just think about it, it's going to be pathetic. Okay. In this verse, Lakshmi Devi is glorifying Krishna. She is glorifying Krishna, but she is glorifying the devotees more. And she is saying, "O infallible one, your lotus palm is the source of all benediction. Therefore, your pure devotees worship it, and you very mercifully place your hand on their heads. I wish that you may also place your hand on my head, for although you already bear my insignia of golden streaks on your chest, I regard this honor as merely a kind of false prestige for me. You show your real mercy to your devotees, not to me. Of course, you are the supreme absolute controller, and no one can understand your motives." So here, very nicely it is described in the verse, and even by Srila Prabhupada in the purport with multiple verses, that how Lord is showering mercy more onto his devotees than his own wife. I have a question here. His wife is not a devotee. Lakshmi Devi, his consort is not a devotee. Why is Lord saying like this?
Just because she is his wife, that's why the position is in such extent.
This is the point. See, even with the place where Srila Prabhupada is talking about sense control, and there he says that Haridas Thakur is more sense controlled, and then he talks about the prostitute pastime. And then he says more than Lord Shiva, and then he talks about Shiva and Parvati pastime. So, and then he writes, devotees are more sense controlled. So, in such purports, we need to clearly understand. Therefore, studying the purports very scrutinizingly is very, very important. If we don't study it properly, then we'll start thinking Prabhupada is just writing something. So here, when he's saying that devotees receive more mercy than the wife of the Lord, it goes on to say that the position is more emphasized than she being a devotee. Even there, in the purport, I think it comes in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So there when Lord Shiva and Haridas Thakur are compared, obviously Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. It's not that sometimes we call him Vaishnava and other times he is not sense controlled. It doesn't make sense. So there again, the position of he being a controller is emphasized and not being a devotee. So like that, when we read these purports, it has to be clear what is actually Srila Prabhupada emphasizing. So here the emphasis is on the relationship, that is wife, then being a devotee. So that's the emphasis that is there. But obvious, Lakshmi Devi is a great devotee. Can you imagine all the time being at the lotus feet of the Lord and massaging the feet? It's not something ordinary. She is getting that service. She is a great devotee. But the emphasis is that I shower more mercy on my devotees than even my wife who is so close to me. That's the point that is made here in this verse. Now here, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one very, very wonderful section which emphasizes this entire description in the purport and the verse very clearly. And this section is when Lord Chaitanya, he was on a South Indian tour. He had a wonderful samvad which is very much glorified in the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya samvad. After all that, he comes to Sri Rangam. And in Sri Rangam, he goes and takes darshan of Sri Ranganath. He sings and dances, he faints. And at that time, Venkata Bhatta, who is Venkata Bhatta for us? Father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So that's how he is very significant for us also. So Venkata Bhatta comes to that place. And Venkata Bhatta, looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being so great, he asks, he requests him that can you please come to my place for prasad? And Lord Chaitanya, understanding the purity of Venkata Bhatta, he agrees. And that was the time when Chaturmas was about to start. And Venkata Bhatta said, Chaturmas is about to start. May I request you that please stay here. We would like to serve you and have your association. And guess what? Lord Chaitanya agreed. He said, yes, I will. And he stayed there for 4 months. And these 4 months were the months of ecstasy in the house of Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta was in ecstasy, his wife was in ecstasy, and their son was in more ecstasy. That is Gopal. Just imagine Gopal Bhatta Goswami, in a very, very young age, he got 4 months of direct association of Lord Chaitanya. To an extent that when Lord Chaitanya was about to leave Venkata Bhatta's house, Gopal Bhatta, he was not Goswami at that time, Gopal, he was crying and crying, don't go, I want you to be here. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed back for some more time just to pacify him and then he left. I can imagine the greatness of our Goswamis in the Parampara, that Lord Chaitanya personally goes to different places to shower his mercy onto these Goswamis and empower them so that they can do the wonderful service in future. So during the stay of Lord Chaitanya in the house of Venkata Bhatta, there was a very, very wonderful conversation that took place. This conversation helps one to understand the Raga Bhakti, and this conversation also helps to understand that how Krishna is superior to even Narayan. But obviously we don't use all this to defeat Sri Vaishnavas or whatever. There's no question of defeating. They are also Vaishnavas, they have a particular mood, and they should continue their worship in that particular mood, what they have got from their Acharya. So there's no question of we going to them and proving that, see how Lord Narayan is below Lord Krishna. It doesn't make sense. In fact, we should help them to have more confidence in their own sampradaya and follow it properly. And we shouldn't get bewildered by their talks, and we should follow what is given to us in the sampradaya. And here in this context, we see Lord Chaitanya, by his wonderful scholarly talk, he converts a Sri Vaishnava into Gaudiya Vaishnava. This is the only one which we find in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So what was that talk that had so much a profound impact on Venkata Bhatta is described here. So let's dive deep into these verses and let's try to understand it more clearly. प्रभु कहे भट्ट तुम्हार लक्ष्मी ठाकुरानी कांता वक्षस्थित पतिव्रता शिरोमणि. Prabhu kahe, Lord Chaitanya is saying this to Venkata Bhatta. You can imagine the one-to-one conversation. I'm not sure if Gopal was also sitting there in the conversation. So Venkata Bhatta and Lord Chaitanya. That's a glorious opportunity to have personal association. And Venkata Bhatta is hearing. And here Mahaprabhu is glorifying Lakshmi Devi and he is saying, hey Bhatta, Tumar Lakshmi Thakurani, your goddess of fortune, Kanta Vakshastita, she is always there on the chest of the Lord, and that place is called as Srivatsa. That's the golden stripes on the right side of the Lord's chest. And she resides there. And he's glorifying her, saying, Pativrata Shiromani. She is the most chaste lady in the entire creation. The entire creation. But then, after glorifying, there's a twist here. Amara Thakura Krishna, Gopa Gocharaka, Sadhavi Haya, Kena Chahe, Tahara Sangama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is putting a question in front. And he is saying, that see, when it comes to my Thakur, okay, your Thakurani is Lakshmi Devi, my Thakur is Krishna. So my Lord Krishna, he is a cowherd boy. All the time is engaged in herding the cows. But I have a question. Why your Thakurani Lakshmi Devi, a chaste wife of Lord Narayan, wants to associate with my Lord Krishna? Why? And then it continues. Ei lagi sukha bhoga chhadi chira kala, vrata niyama kari tapa karila apara. And he is describing, see, your Lakshmi Devi, she wanted to associate with my Lord. She abandoned Vaikuntha for a long, long time. And she came onto this planet. And what was she doing? For a long, long time, she was doing tapasya. Tapa karila apara. For a long, long time she was doing tapasya. Why was she doing tapasya? To get the association of Lord Krishna. And then he gives a proof from Srimad Bhagavatam. So whenever you speak something, there should be some proof. And for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, proof should be given from Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, obviously Bhagavad Gita. And this shloka is very nice, where Nagapatnis are glorifying Lord Krishna in their prayers. And they say, Kasyanu na deva vidmahe tavangrirenu sparshadhikaraha yadvanchaya shri lalanacharat vihaya kaman suchiram dradavrata. All the Nagapatnis looking at Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna was there on the hoods of Kaliya and they're offering prayers. And they are saying that what did our husband do? This color, this robe, what did he do? How is it that he got this mercy? And what was the mercy he got? Lotus footprint on the head. And they all are bewildered. What did this person do? How did he get the dust of your lotus feet? Directly, you yourself. You gave him this opportunity. What did he do? And then they're comparing. And what is the comparison? Yad vanchaya shri larna charattapo vihaya kaman suchiram dridavrata. For many, many centuries, they are saying, Shiram, Suchiram, for long, long time. Lakshmi Devi, she is doing tapasya. She is doing tapasya and she didn't get this great opportunity. And our husband Kaliya, he is getting this opportunity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting this and saying, see, even the Nagapatnis are saying that your Lakshmi Devi has done a lot of austerities to attain association of my Thakur, Krishna. Where is Lakshmi Devi doing austerity? Which one? Yes. In Bail 1, out of the 12 ones or 12 forests of Vrindavan, Lakshmi Devi is still continuing her tapasya in Bail 1. Now the discussion continues. So this was the question that was asked to Bhatta, Venkata Bhatta. Now Venkata Bhatta might be thinking, what is going on? You see, this is not some ordinary talk. This is the question directly on his Thakurani, Lakshmi Devi. How is it that your chaste Thakurani Lakshmi, she left Narayan, she has come here to associate with Krishna, my Thakur is just a Gopa, and since she was not given association for a very, very long time, she is doing tapasya. What do you say, Venkata Bhatta, for this? Bhatta kahe Krishna Narayana eka swarupa Krishne te adhika lila vaidhagyadi rupa. So Venkata Bhatta said, Mahaprabhu, come on, both are same. Krishna, Narayan, same personality. But the pastimes of Krishna are more relishable due to their sportive nature. That's how the pastimes of Krishna are. Have you seen Narayan going around, running around? Yes. He's always there with his four hands. I don't think anyone ever tried to step on the shoulder of Narayan. Sudarshan Chakra will cut their legs. Can you imagine going and pulling the hair of Narayan? Yes. But all these different things were happening. There were Gopas who were climbing on the shoulder of Krishna. And there were other Gopas who were pulling the hair of Krishna. And they were sitting on the back of Krishna and going from one place to another. Aha. These are the sportive pastimes in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And here, Bhatta, Venkata Bhatta is not some illiterate person. He has also read Shastra. He knows very well Krishna's pastimes, the sportive pastimes. They are more relishable, I agree, as compared to the pastimes of my Narayan. And then he says, let's see, both are same personality. So if Lakshmi Devi wants to associate with Krishna, how does that break chastity of Lakshmi Devi? How is it possible? Rather, it was in great fun that she wanted to associate with Krishna. That's it. And he continued to speak. He said, see, according to the transcendental realization, he quoted a shloka from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There is no difference between the forms of Narayan and Krishna. Yet in Krishna is a special transcendental attraction due to the conjugal mellow and subsequently and consequently he surpasses Narayan. This is the conclusion of transcendental mellows. So basically the exchange of the mellows, the transcendental mellows between Krishna and his devotees is much, much greater as compared to the other wonderful incarnations of the Lord, including Narayan. Therefore he said, Krishna Sange Pativrata Dharma Nahe Nasha Adhika Labha Paye Ara Rasa Vilasa. Therefore, Mahaprabhu, according to me, Lakshmi Devi associating with Krishna, her chastity is not destroyed. Her chastity remains intact. In fact, by associating with Krishna, she could enjoy the benefit of rasa dance. Vinodini Lakshmira Haya Krishna Abhilasha Iha Teki Dosha Kene Kara Parihasa. Therefore, our Lakshmi, my Thakurani Lakshmi, she is also a transcendental enjoyer. Therefore, she wanted to enjoy herself with Krishna. What is fault in this? And more importantly, why are you doing parihas with me? Why are you joking on this? Now, Lord Chaitanya started speaking. Prabhu kahe dosha nahi, ya ami jani, rasana paila Lakshmi shastra iya suni. See, your Lakshmi Devi wanted to associate with Krishna. But did she get association? Was she allowed to enter Rasalila? And here, Lord Chaitanya is saying that I know there is no fault. There is no fault on the part of goddess of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, to aspire to associate with Krishna. But still the question is, I heard from Shastra that she couldn't enter Rasalila. What do you say, Venkata Bhatta, about this? Why she was not able to? Why she was not allowed? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting a shloka to establish this point that she was not allowed. He quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the same verse that is quoted by Prabhupada in the purport that we read just now. Nayam Shriyongo Nitantarate Prasad Swaryoshitam Nalina Gandharucham Kutonya Rasotsavesya Bhujadanda Grihita Kantha Labdha Shishamya Udagad Vrajasundarinam. So here the thing that is told is, in the Rasa Leela, Lord Krishna has put his beautiful arms like on the shoulders of the gopis and is dancing with the individual gopis individually. But when it comes to goddess of fortune, very beautifully it is described here. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world. And where is the question of the heavenly damsels to imagine to get an opportunity like that? And forget about the girls of this world. That's the shloka. So again, a very strong point is established, and this question is made more strong. That, and I agree that the chastity of Lakshmi Devi is not affected. But my question is why she was not allowed to enter the Rasa Leela of Krishna? If she is the same personality, why she was not allowed to enter? Lakshmi Kirena Paila Ihara ki Karana Tapakari Kaiche Krishna Paila Shruti Gana. Can you tell me why Goddess of Fortune Lakshmi could not enter Rasa dance? And he is giving one example that these people are allowed, why she was not allowed? And he is the example of Tapa Kari Kaiche Krishna Paila Shruti Gana. The Vedas personified. They did a lot of tapasya. They did a lot of tapasya to get association of the Lord in the Rasa Leela. And when they did a lot of tapasya, they were allowed. They were allowed into Rasa Leela. So therefore we have various different types of gopis, and one category is Shruti Charya gopis. So these Shrutis, they coming as the gopis. So Venkata Bhatta, hearing all this, he was astonished and he said, I cannot enter into the mysteries of this behavior of the Lord and this behavior of whatever you have described till now. He is putting himself very humble, and now he says, Ami Jiva Shudra Buddhi Sahaja Asthira Ishwara Lila Koti Samudra Gambhira. Who am I? I am Mr. Jiva. I am Mr. Jivatma. And Shudra Buddhi. I am very fallen. My intelligence is not developed. Sahaja Asthira. And most of the time I am disturbed. Being an entity or a living entity who has taken birth in Kali Yuga. I've seen this even in normal discussions what devotees have. If some profound discussion is happening and one person is posting the question, to batao, hi batao. Another devotee says, I am a fallen soul, I don't know all this. So this is the Brahmastra that devotees use. But isme you escape also, and your image also remains intact. Oh, great devotee. So therefore here he is saying, see, I cannot understand all these. These are Koti Samudra Gambhira. My mind cannot enter this unlimited pastimes which are like deep ocean. I cannot. And now he acknowledges the position of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, Tumi Sakshat Sei Krishna Jana Nija Karma Jare Jana Sei Jane Tumara Leela Marma. O Lord, you are Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And you know your activities better. I cannot understand these activities. In fact, if you shower mercy onto someone, then only those people can understand your activities, which are very, very transcendental. See, this point is very, very important to note. When Krishna is saying in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Vedi Tattvataha Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Anyone who understands my Divya Janma, transcendental birth, and Divya Karma, by transcendental pastimes, that person can easily attain my abode and he will never take birth again in this world. Now, we have been hearing pastimes of the Lord. I'm sure each one of you sitting here can give a class on how Krishna appeared in the jail. So we know, right, Krishna's transcendental birth. And when it comes to his transcendental pastimes, we know he's picking up Govardhan, etc., etc. But the point is, how much have we actually realized this particular aspect of transcendence of the Lord? His transcendental pastimes, his transcendental birth. Because there's a huge difference between knowing it and realizing it. Because I may know that Krishna's birth is transcendental, but some argument of some person or some verse from Shastra might bewilder us, and the question might come, but Krishna, that hunter, he shot the arrow that hit the feet of Krishna and he died, and Bhagavatam Shloka says he left a body also. What is that? For your information, that body was Virat Swarup, Virat Roop, that Shukadeva Goswami is talking about. So Lord left behind the Virat Roop and he went back, to his spiritual abode. So all these questions might come, and even when it comes to the pastimes of the Lord, so especially when it comes to these rasa pastimes, why is it said that neophyte devotees shouldn't be dwelling into the thoughts and the contemplation of these rasa pastimes. Why? Because it's very natural for a living entity to pull down Krishna onto their level and then analyze the pastime. Oh, Krishna is dancing with these gopis. Yeah, yeah. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I also did the same. As soon as this thought comes, there's no question of spiritual or transcendental that remains. Immediately we pull down the Lord on the material platform. And as soon as we pull down the Lord on the material platform, where is the question of understanding that Lord's pastimes are transcendental? And sometimes some devotees are not convinced about Govardhan Lila, Kaliya Lila or whatever. They know that such and such thing might have taken place. And they say, हाँ शायद भगवान ने उठाया रहेगा गोवर्धन, शायद भगवान ने कालिया पे नृत्य किया होगा. So what does that word shayad means? You know the pastime from the Shastra because you might have read it, but you don't have enough faith on it, you have not realized it enough. So therefore, anyone who realizes that Lord's birth is transcendental, Lord's pastimes are transcendental, that person goes back home, back to Godhead. Others don't. And therefore, who can understand? Venkata Bhatta is saying, only those devotees who receive mercy of Lord Krishna, they can actually understand and realize how these pastimes are transcendental and not ordinary. So this point is very nice. Jare janah sei jane tumhara leela marma. Only those persons whom you enlighten can understand your pastimes. And Krishna has told us in Bhagavad Gita also. Tesham evanu kampartham maham ajnana jam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhashvatah. So Lord is saying that when I am very much merciful unto my devotees, my special favor unto my devotees is, I remove the darkness from their heart and lit the lamp of knowledge. And what is that lamp of knowledge all about? The lamp of knowledge is all about this transcendental nature of the Lord. So Lord showers mercy onto the devotee, and the devotee is able to realize the various transcendental aspects of the Lord. And therefore such devotees, come what may, they will never leave the lotus feet of the Lord. Never. Because they have got this unlimited mercy by which they are able to realize the transcendental aspect of the Lord. And they know it very well. Whatever it is, in whatever situation I am in, my Lord is unlimited and He can save me. Why is it that in different situations we fear? Even full-time devotees for that matter. And how do we understand that I am fear? What's the sign of that? Any situation. I'm talking about full-time devotees. You might say, I'm not fear. Therefore I gave up everything. And I've come here to serve the Lord as a full-time. What's the sign of fear?
We keep some backup plan.
Okay, so keep some backup plan. Yes. Some bank balance is still there. Yes. And?
Doubts.
What is it?
Doubts.
Okay, doubts. Getting some doubts. Okay. Fear. How do we understand that I'm fearful? One simple thing. We get agitated, we get disturbed. And during that time, we'll not be able to focus on our sadhana. That's the sign. And that goes on to say, even after being a full-time, so-called, yes, still, I don't have complete faith on the Lord that He can take care of me. Because that devotee who receives the mercy of the Lord, he will get this transcendental realization that my Lord is unlimited. He is the controller of all the controllers. All the situations are under His control. He is in perfect control of every situation. Now whatever has taken place, Lord will take care. See, one is that to say, Bhagwan dekh lenge. But the other thing is internally also to say, Bhagwan dekh lenge. Because internally if you say, you will not be disturbed. You will be peaceful. You will be able to render your devotion, your sadhana bhakti properly. Otherwise, in that disturbance is very difficult. Therefore, this point of Venkata Bhatta is very nice. That a person whom the Lord enlightens, only that devotee will be able to understand the Lord's transcendental aspects, especially the pastimes here. And now, Lord Chaitanya is speaking. Prabhu kahe Krishna raika swabhava vilakshana swamadhurye sarva chitta kare akarshana. Oh Venkata Bhatta, please listen. When it comes to Lord Krishna, he has a special characteristic. What is that special characteristic? His name is Krishna. He attracts everyone. Everyone's heart by the mellow of his personal conjugal love. He attracts everyone's heart. And he continues and he says, okay, before this, what is that which makes Krishna very special as compared to Narayana and other forms of Vishnu?
Sportive pastimes.
What is it?
He does this.
Okay, sportive pastimes. In some technical terms, you all should speak.
Five.
Yeah, he has got four additional qualities. What are those? Rupa Madhuri, oh Lord's beautiful form. You will not see Narayan anytime wearing some forest flowers and fruits hanging from his head or whatever. Krishna's form is like next level. With his two hands playing the flute. To an extent that Mahavishnu also wanted to see the form of the Lord and he got mesmerized when Lord Krishna appeared in front of Mahavishnu. You all can read this pastime yourself in Krishna book. And there's Rupa Madhuri. Leela Madhuri. Krishna's these wonderful pastimes with his devotees. Yes. Third? Venu Madhuri. We will not see Mahavishnu keeping Shankachakra aside and then taking a flute and playing the flute. Only Krishna. He plays the flute, and when he plays the flute, he attracts everyone. He attracts everyone, including the animals who are still living. But he attracts even the inanimate ones like water flowing in the river. He attracts that also. Yes. And fourth? Huh? Prema Madhuri. So where the devotees, where the Lord is always with his devotees. And he shows that how he exchanges, or how are the loving exchanges. And all these four make him very special. And obviously, these are all technical details. And there are many more other things which makes our Lord very, very special. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu technically is establishing the point. Krishna is better as compared to your Lord. He continues. See, all that, why this discussion is coming now? What is the need of all this discussion? What is the context? What is Lord trying to do? Okay, establishing Gaudiya Vishnu philosophy, Krishna Supreme. He is trying to explain why Lakshmi Devi was not allowed into Rasalila. So all this prerequisite is there. Now he's coming to the point. Vrajalokera bhave paiye tahara charan tare ishvara kari nahi jane vrajajana. By following the footsteps of the inhabitants of the planet known as Vrajaloka or Goloka Vrindavan, one can attain the shelter of lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So only by following the footsteps of Vrajavasis, one can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. However, in that planet, this last line is very nice. Tahare Ishvara Kari Nahi Jane Vrajajana. But actually the associates of the Lord, they actually don't know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is their mood? Since they don't know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, the mood is that some devotee in Braja, they accept Krishna as their son. For example, Yashodamai. Yashodamai is always tense about Krishna. Whenever he goes out to herd the cows, she is always tensed. Full day she keeps thinking, now what might have happened? Did he climb on the tree? I had told not to climb. I'm sure he might have not climbed, but still. Did he jump into Jamuna? Did he eat some poisonous fruit? And then in the evening, when the sun is setting, she will go and sit outside and waiting. Where is my Kanha? Where is my Krishna? So her mood is in the mood of protection, and she tells Balram before going to herding the cows, she tells Balram, your elder brother, take care of your younger brother. Make sure that he does not climb on the tree, does not jump into the water, etc., etc. And Balram might also be smiling. कि कहाँ मेरा बात सुनता है? So some people consider him as son, to an extent that Mother Yashoda goes to bind Krishna to wooden grinding mortar. This pastime is spoken multiple times in many places and glorified. Why? Because this shows that she does not know actually that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was my personal contemplation. Let's say Krishna is running and Mother Yashoda is running behind. Krishna is running out of fear. He's crying also, crying tears. So I was just thinking that if Krishna wanted to prove that his Supreme Personality of Godhead, he should have just turned and stood there. Stop. Vishwarup. Yes. But here Krishna also wants to relish that wonderful relationship with the Vrajavasis. And therefore here Vrajavasis are at least bothered if he's supreme or not. He's supreme, doesn't matter. He's not supreme, doesn't matter. He is our Krishna. That's the mood. In fact, whenever the gopis would come and complain to Mother Yashoda, our Krishna did, Mother Yashoda stops. My Krishna. That's the possessiveness of these Vrajavasis. And someone else might accept Krishna as intimate friend. And they would feel very, very nice when they would be victorious over Krishna. Playfully mount on his shoulders. Well, they would have these wonderful pastimes. So if they know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, if they have that Aishwarya Gyan, which the Vaikuntha-vasis have, they would have never climbed on the shoulders of Krishna. They would just stand far and they would offer prayers. Purusha Sukta, Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. They would just stand far and they'll offer prayers. But here there's no question of prayers. Krishna offers prayers to them. Please take me in your team. Please don't remove me from your team, etc., etc. So here is a very wonderful mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing to Venkata Bhatta, that this is how the Vrajavasis are. And the authorities of the Vedic literature, basically the Shrutis personified, the Shruti Ganas, they worship Krishna in what mode? Okay, I missed one shloka. Therefore, one who worships the Lord by following in the footsteps of the Vrajavasis, they are the ones who attain the Lord's shelter in Vraja, in Vrindavan. So following in the footsteps of Vrajavasis is very, very important. If anyone who is planning to go to Goloka Vrindavan, the ones who are not planning doesn't matter. But the ones who are actually planning, for them it's very important that they need to follow in the footsteps of Vrajavasis. And one example that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving is these Shruti Ganas, these Vedas personified, so they are the ones who worship the Lord in the ecstasy of the gopis. And then they followed in the footsteps of the gopis. And therefore, these personalities, they took birth in Vrajabhumi as gopis. And in those bodies of the gopis, they were allowed to enter the Rasa Leela. Therefore, we have these Shruti Ganas also entering Rasa Leela and dancing with Krishna. Now, Lord Chaitanya continues and he establishes some points. Gopajati Krishna Gopi Prayasitahara Devi va anya stri Krishna na kare angikara. Now what happened is, Krishna belongs to Gopajati and the gopis are dearmost lovers of Krishna. Although the wives of denizens of heavenly planets are most opulent within the material world, neither they nor any woman in the material universe can acquire Krishna's association. Anyone who wants association of Krishna, that person, what he should do? Lakshmi Devi didn't do this. But then what we should do, that is spoken here. Lakshmi chahe sei dehe Krishnera sangama gopika anugahaya na kaila bhajana. There was one mistake on the part of Goddess of Fortune. What was that? She wanted to enjoy with Krishna. But unfortunately, she wanted to retain the same spiritual body of hers in the form of Lakshmi. She did not want to follow in the footsteps of gopis and worship in their mode. This she did not want to do. Therefore, conclusion, no one can enter the Rasa Leela dance in any body other than that of a gopi. We have so many examples. When Narada Muni wanted to witness this wonderful pastime of the Lord, he went and begged, if I'm not wrong, Srimati Radharani or Yogamaya Purnamasi. And Narada was told, go and take a dip in Kusum Sarovar. Narada Muni entered and he came out as Naradiya Gopi. And then he entered. Now Mahadev also wanted to enter. Lord Shiva also wanted to enter. But then only Gopis are allowed inside. So Mahadev said, what am I supposed to do? Oh, you go and take a dip in that kund. He went inside as Mahadev and came out as Gopeshwar Mahadev. But the best part of this gopi was, still snakes were there on the body. And I was hearing this, in one of the lectures that Mahadev, or I should be more precise, Gopeshwar Mahadev, he entered Rasalila. But then, his nritya was very nice. His steps were the same. He was doing the same Tandav nritya in the Rasalila also. Therefore, Krishna told him that, or told her, Gopeshwar Mahadev, that very nice, you dance very nicely. Can you please stand outside the Rasasthali and guard the place? Therefore, even today, Gopeshwar Mahadev is guarding the Rasasthali in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And every evening, the Shivlinga is beautifully decorated, like a gopi. Very, very beautiful. Now, having described all this, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining to Venkata Bhatta. He is saying, Prabhu kahe bhatta tumhe na kariha samshay, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna e tad nischay. Therefore, my dear Venkata Bhatta, please do not continue doubting that Narayan is Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, it's Krishna. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And these are the conclusions of Vedic literature. And he quoted a Bhagavatam shloka, and that was Ete chamsa kala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So he quoted that shloka. Krishnera Vilasa Murti Sri Narayan Ata Eva Lakshmi Adyera Hare Teharaman. So who is Narayan? Lord Narayan is the Vilasa Vigraha of Krishna. I hope all of you remember Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. When he manifests in multiple places, Swayam Prakash. I think that's it. How do you describe Vilasa? Vilasa Vigraha.
Different form, different characteristics.
Okay. So Vilasa basically means pastimes. And for pastime purpose, Lord, he expands himself. And therefore we have various Vilasa Murtis also. Prabha Vilas and Vaibhav Vilas. So Prabha Vilas are the Adi Chaturvyuha expansions. Those are Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anirudh and Vasudeva. They are there in the Goloka part, but not in Vrindavan, but Mathura and Dwarka. So Goloka Dwarka and Goloka Mathura, they have these four personalities. But when it comes to Vaikuntha, then we have Vaibhav Vilas there. And that is Narayan. And various expansions there of Narayan. That is the Vilas Murti. And here it is described that Lord Narayan, the opulent form of Krishna, he attracts the mind of Goddess of Fortune and her followers. Again, he is establishing one more point. So yes, Narayan is very beautiful. He attracts the minds of the Lakshmis there. And then he continues. Narayana haite Krishnera asadharana guna ata eva Lakshmire Krishna Trishna Nukshana. Yes. Narayan is very beautiful, very nice. But then when it comes to Krishna, he has these four extraordinary qualities which Narayan does not possess. And therefore, your Thakurani Lakshmi, she always desires the company of my Lord Krishna. And then he says, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Hare Lakshmira Man Gopekara Gopikara Mana Harite Nare Narayan. See, when it comes to Krishna, he attracts the hearts of your Thakurani. But when it comes to Narayan, he is not able to attract the heart of gopis. And then he narrates a pastime where once Krishna, he disguised himself in the four-handed form of Narayan, and he stood there. Lakshmi was searching Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Narayanji, did you see Krishna? So they were not attracted to Narayan at all. They were not attracted to Narayan at all. And that's the point that is made here. That the gopis were not attracted to Narayan, but your Lakshmi is getting attracted to Krishna. Hence proved that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and not Narayan. What do you say, Venkata Bhatta, for this? Venkata Bhatta has to agree. He said, yes. But then after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very nicely, mildly, philosophically, then he said, see, actually, to be frank, Krishna and Narayana are same. And Lakshmi and Gopis are also same, so don't worry much. But still, Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. So that's how it is established very beautifully in this section. But one point which I'd like to highlight is one can enter Rajabhumi Sri Vrindavan only if they are following the footsteps of Rajavasis. And this is called as Raganuga Bhakti, Ragamarga. And very unfortunately, this concept is not understood very properly. So devotees who are doing Vaidhi Bhakti, following rules and regulations, they keep saying that, oh, we will go to Golok, we will go to Golok. But the ones who know Shastra, they will say that, no, it's not possible. Vaidhi Bhakti will go only till Vaikuntha. Raga Bhaktas will go to Golok. Therefore, this understanding has to be clear that we need to follow in the footsteps of Rajavasis. And only by following their footsteps, their mood, imbibing their mood, we can enter Goloka Vrindavan. But now the question comes that what it means in our context. See, when it comes to all of us, one thing is very clear, or we should be very clear of one fact, that all these personalities in the altar, they are not ordinary personalities. They are all the gopis from the spiritual world, they are the manjaris. And they have come here onto this planet and they have told us the secrets or the confidential facts of Krishna consciousness. And they have told the way by which we can come back to Godhead in that particular mood. It is so funny at times. One boy called me from Delhi and he is saying, Prabhuji, मुझे लगता है कि प्रभुपाद गोपा है, गोपी नहीं. क्यों ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे? नहीं, वो प्रभुपाद वो सॉन्ग में लिखते हैं ना, वो वैष्णव भजन में, वृंदावन भजन में लिखते हैं कि Oh Krishna, when will I be again back in your association, herding the cows in Sri Vrindavan Dham? Therefore, मुझे लगता है कि प्रभुपाद गोपा है. See, such foolish thoughts, why people get, I don't understand. It's very clear that Prabhupada is Senapati Bhakta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. मतलब बाकी सब मंजरी है, सिर्फ सेनापति भक्त is गोपाल. ऐसे कैसा हो सकता है? How is it possible? Therefore, it's very, very much important to understand this clearly that all these personalities, they have come to give us the same mode which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give us. So whatever mode Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give us, the higher rasas of Krishna consciousness, that is the mode that percolates down the line, and that's what is passed on from one generation to another by these acharyas. How can Senapati Bhakta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give something else? How is that possible? Therefore, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he established this point very nicely. And he said that when it comes to being a Raganuga Bhakta, what does that mean? Raganuga Bhakta basically means we need to follow in the footsteps of Rajavasin, especially to attain that particular rasa, one has to follow in the footsteps of gopis. And who is the topmost gopi? Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani, she came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada is following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has told us what will please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is the Sankirtan movement. And therefore anyone who participates in this Sankirtan mission, they are following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the topmost gopi, and they will attain the highest destination. So what is the doubt? So wonderfully technically established in this point. And therefore we shouldn't have any doubt in our mind that by following the program given by Srila Prabhupada, we will not attain Goloka Vrindavan, especially in this rasa which all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas talk about. We shouldn't have a single doubt about it. The only thing that we have to invest our time and energy in is to imbibe the achar and vichar of the acharyas. Very, very important. Very, very important. वो छोड़ के बाकी सब दुनिया का चीज करते हैं हम लोग. We need to imbibe the achar and vichar of our acharyas, and especially following their instructions. See, we are in neophyte stage. Big things we speak. This rasa, that rasa. Only kasa is there. Only garbage is there in our heart. Yes. So where is the question of Now we attain the higher rasa. So as of now at our level, we have to make sure that very diligently, very meticulously, we execute the instructions given by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. There is no other thing that we are expected to do as of now. And whatever is needed will manifest for sure. Only thing that is needed is sincerely executing the sadhana bhakti program given by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And we will transition surely from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga from the Ruchi stage. But abhi Anartha Nivritti to cross kar le pehle. We need to cross the stage of Anartha Nivritti first for getting that. Therefore, we will not deny this fact that we need to follow in the footsteps of Rajavasis. But we want to follow in the footsteps of these Rajavasis who have come so close to us, like Srila Prabhupada, and follow in their footsteps, follow their instructions, please them, and they have the power to give us Raja Bhakti for sure, because they have it. And by their mercy, we will also be able to attain Goloka Vrindavan. Thank you very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, any questions? By the way, there's the next section after this where I think few verses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking and he is convincing that don't worry, whatever I spoke it was just in joke, and actually Krishna and Narayana are same, Gopis and Lakshmi are same, so don't worry much. But after all this, Venkata Bhattai decided I'll just be your follower, I'll be a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the nice class. So this as the pastime, we hear this pastime of Lakshmi aspiring for entering the transcendental Raslila pastimes. So, but then again that question comes that we say everyone is satisfied in his own place in the spiritual world, then how come this is happening? Or then there can be a question raised, then everyone is dissatisfied in the realms and they want to go to the higher.
See, this entire pastime, it took place when Krishna was doing his Bhauma Leela. So all the great devotees, they would come and then peep at what Krishna is doing. And naturally, they were getting this desire that I also want to be a part of this pastime. But in general, when it comes to devotees, see, only when you get exposure of all this, there is a problem. But it is taken care in the spiritual world that there is no exposure of all this, unless and until you have a preacher coming from Goloka Vrindavan to Vaikuntha. So there is no one who comes like that. Yes. Because only if there is an exposure, see, always remember that how do we get a desire? We get a desire when we have exposure to certain aspect. So only when we have exposure, we'll feel like, no, okay, I want that. Then you become dissatisfied. But then when it comes to Vaikuntha, there is no question of dissatisfaction. Because there is no exposure of these higher things. And therefore, when it comes to Sri Vaishnavas, they are happy when it comes to Vaikuntha. They respect Krishna's position and all that. But they want to attain their Master Narayan. They read also, they want to attain their Master Narayan. Therefore, we understand that in the spiritual world, there is no preacher who comes and sows the seed that you should get this. That's only the material world that takes place, where preachers are proactive. They go and change the mood of the devotees. What is the lower rasa? Talk about higher rasa. You should think about going to Goloka Vrindavan. Why only at Vaikuntha? Why Brahman? How much is content Brahman? Brahmavadi, see, Brahmavadis are so satisfied. So, because even attaining Brahman is the spiritual attainment, spiritual realm, even that is spiritual realm. They are so satisfied, they cannot be disturbed. But as soon as they get exposure of the higher things by the preachers, the tricks of the preachers, they will also get this desire. That's how Shukadeva Goswami becomes a devotee, 4 Kumaras become devotee. Yes. So in this way, even when it comes to Vaikuntha, the same thing. Even when it comes to the Goloka Vrindavan, the same thing. Yes. And another important thing is that the service that they're doing, they're very much satisfied with that service in Goloka Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha. So they don't think that, okay, I'm still in Dasya Rasa, pata nahi ye Madhurya Rasa kab mera, when will I reach that? When will I clear all these levels and then reach this Madhurya Rasa? They're all satisfied in their respective services. Because Krishna satisfies the devotees very nicely like that. So all this problem, if I'm not wrong, You all can check with other senior devotees also. This problem with Lakshmi Devi came when she came to Sri Vrindavan Dham and she saw this and she wanted to, then she had a desire that even I should be part of this.
But this Vrindavan Dham is also eternal. No? These pastimes keep on happening eternally in the material world.
I'm not sure if Nitya Lila is spoken here. I'm just assuming and I'm answering. Assuming that Bhauma Vrindavan pastime was spoken. And especially when Krishna was present here. Because when we read about Belvan pastimes, that's what is spoken. In Krishna's personal presence, that particular pastime took place. You have me correct? He is my encyclopedia. Is that okay? With that assumption, then we can.
My question is that in material world also these pastimes in one or the other universe keeps on happening, so exposure will always be there.
Okay, now that is very difficult. That why she didn't go to other places and why she came only here. That I cannot answer. But this is that she came here, she got the exposure and she wanted to get in. That's the understanding. Which I have.
Thanks for replying. So you mentioned that the Lordship took a dip in Kunda. In Naravan. At Kunda.
I'm not telling. Yeah, it was there. But it was not just entering that kund. Many devotees now also they keep entering. They go down with anarthas, they come out with anarthas. But that was a special mercy of certain gopis in Srimati Radharani. They blessed. And just as an activity, they go and dip there and come out. It's by the mercy of the gopis that they got that form, not just by mere dip in the kund. They know your plans. Anything else?
Thank you for this nice question. So Mahaprabhu went in South India Yatra, so he met many Sri Sampradaya devotees. But he chose Venkat Bhatt to convert. Why this?
Maybe for Gopal Bhatta. There is no specific thing that is given why he was chosen. One point that is made is Lord was very much attracted by the devotion of Venkata Bhatta. There's a verse that comes, which just I read sometime back. So because he was attracted, so that can be one of the reasons. Yes. Another reason which I can think of is about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So it's very nice. Lord Chaitanya tells Gopal Bhatta Goswami that you serve your parents because they are also devotees. And then parents are telling towards the end of their life that you should go and take complete shelter of Lord Chaitanya. So maybe that family preaching. When you want to make a brahmachari, this is the best way. Please the parents also and then get it. The max I can think of. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.